We will call this special meeting of the January 28th, 2026 City Council to order. Let the record reflect that all council members that were present earlier, except for Councilmember Tremblay, are here. And we have a closed session item. Madam City Attorney.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. We have one item on the agenda pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1, and it's the OPV Coalition matter versus Fox Canyon. And if there's any reportable action, I can make that report.
Thank you very much. We will recess until 5 p.m. to close session. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Camarillo City Council, the Camarillo Sanitation District, the CLB, the SA, the IDA, the PFA, and the CCIC for January 28th, 2026. I'm going to ask Councilmember Santangelo to lead us in the pledge.
Please stand. Hand over heart. Ready, begin.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Susan. Are there any changes to the agenda? I'd like to also comment that all of the members of the council are present except for Mr. Tremblay, who is on his way here from another meeting. At this time, we will make a presentation to Ventura County Food Share, but I'm going to read it from the dais and then invite you up here. Last October, the City Council approved a $70,000 allocation to Food Share of Ventura County, specifically for food assistance to Camarillo residents, CSU Channel Island students, Somas Ranch residents, with no distinction made in terms of immigration status. The City of Camarillo prioritizes collaboration with trusted community partners that deliver measurable local impact. Food Share of Ventura County is one such partner with strong connections to local agencies, grocery stores, volunteers, and food pantries serving the city of Camarillo and its surrounding areas. Ventura County Food Share serves more than 250,000 residents each year. It works to support approximately 7,800 residents through 13 local pantries here in Camarillo, providing food assistance, and it reaches people efficiently and with dignity. Food Share's coordinated approach allows resources to be used responsibly and kept focused on local needs. This partnership was demonstrated during the emergency food collection at City Hall this past December, when community donations were quickly delivered to residents who needed them most. On behalf of the City of Camarillo and the entire council, we would like to thank Food Share of Ventura County for your continued work in supporting our residents and strengthening our community. Now, if you'd be so kind as to meet me up here, I'd appreciate that. They might want to say something. I have a lot of voice, but I'm sure Jennifer will have something to say. Hi, Monica. Good to see you. You too. Over here. How are you? Is this on?
It was on.
Oh, I probably shut it off. I'm technologically.
Oh, it's on.
Can you hear me now? Once again, thank you, Food Share, for everything you do, not just in Camarillo and the surrounding area, but throughout the entire county. I would urge anyone that has not visited Food Share's facilities to set up a tour. It's amazing the number of volunteers they have and the tons of food that get processed probably almost daily. So thank you very much. And on behalf of the city, I know you already got the real check, but we'd like to have you get the fake check. So photos. Monica, I'll let you have the first
Oh,
crack
I was
at the
gonna
microphone.
let
figured
Jennifer
that.
do it. I'll hold on to
Quiet
the check for
shot,
you.
Jennifer.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor Tennyson. This is absolutely incredible. Council, I just absolutely adore you. As a resident of the city of Camarillo, this is extra meaningful. As Mayor Tennyson mentioned, Food Share feeds 250,000 Ventura County residents on an annual basis, just under 8,000 of those here in the city of Camarillo. So this is really meaningful to those residents that we're serving right here in our local community. And Food Share can take the dollar that much further. So for every dollar donated to Food Share, we can take and buy $5 worth of food. So this is a significant investment in making sure that Ventura County and the city of Camarillo is fed all year round. So this is on behalf of my CEO, my COO, our board of directors, just a huge thank you to the city for making this happen.
Thank you. Any council member comments? Vice Mayor.
Just a super big thank you. I know how hard you work, and especially executive director, so much work happening behind the scenes, all of staff. And I've had the opportunity to tour, motivating so many volunteers is amazing. Just the entire project and the love that goes into doing everything. So on behalf of the city, we're just, I mean, I know when we had that motion come to the city and we expanded the funding that went from 50 to 70 and expanded the service not only to Camarillo, but to the residents impacted by immigration enforcement, expanding that to Somis Ranch farm workers and to the CSUCI students. I think it was the right move. So thank you for providing and doing that hard work. Really appreciate it.
I'm just going to add on. Councilmember Tremblay isn't here, but he would say ditto. Ditto.
Yeah, I do want to ditto that. And I want to thank all of your efforts and everybody out here that makes it happen. You know, we all know food insecurity is a major issue, and it affects all of us in a lot of different ways here. So you're one organization that's doing more than your part, if not totally your part, in trying to alleviate some of that. And I can reasonably, with certainty, say that all of the residents in Camarillo are very, very supportive of what you do, and you will continue to do that. So I'm really happy we could do a little small part with us and try to make the job tiny, tiny bit easier, but keep up the good work. It really, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's very much needed.
Okay, I'm going to exercise the mayor's prerogative and take something out of order. Vice Mayor Martinez Bravo has a request to adjourn in the memory of a local resident. So if you want to start, Martita.
Thank you, Mayor. So, yes, we typically do this at the end of a meeting, but what I am requesting is to adjourn in honor of Hayden Fisher Miller. And we're going to learn more about who he was. And Mr. David Tennyson actually also served in the military, as did Hayden. And Hayden's family is actually here today, and we wanted to honor him today in this way. So David, if you can begin speaking about him, and then I will follow.
I can. I just want to extend my heartfelt sympathy for the family. I have such tremendous pride in the young men and women that voluntarily put on the uniform of the United States Armed Forces. We have had an all-volunteer force since the early 70s, so that means every young man and every young woman, or even some old ones with gray hair that you see wearing a uniform, volunteered to put themselves in harm's way for all of us. So tremendous respect to the family, tremendous respect to Hayden for his volunteerism by joining the military. Hayden is the beloved and beautiful son of Calvin and Laura Racy Miller. He grew up in Camarillo. He ended up hiking with friends, made films, traveled to Ecuador, the Galapagos, Thailand, Vietnam, Europe, and yearly trips to Big Bear. He was offered several scholarships and decided to attend the Indiana University, earned a degree in criminal justice before he joined. And again, I say joined, not conscripted, but joined the United States Army. After boot camp, he completed officer candidate school, then infantry school at Fort Moore, Georgia, becoming a first lieutenant. He went on to Ranger School and earned the esteemed and coveted Ranger tab. During this time, he forged a lasting friendship and bond with fellow officer Tom Hurst. They served together at Fort Bragg, Fort Moore, and later at Fort Bliss, Texas. Hayden became a platoon leader and also worked logistics.
After completing his Army service, Hayden made the brave choice to support the people of Ukraine in their fight against aggression. On October 9th, he gave his life in that service. Hayden was a beautiful soul, level-headed, kind, generous, and funny. He loved his family deeply. He was a devoted younger brother to Calvin and shared a close bond with his cousins Alex, Becca, and Nick, who felt like another brother. He spent summers working at the family business, Cal Coast Plumbing, where his presence brought joy to every job site. Laura will cherish her memories of trips to Wyoming, Montana, and Utah with Hayden. CJ will cherish the many fishing trips with Hayden, Grandpa Cal, and friends to Alaska, Panama, Mexico, and Florida. Hayden loved animals, especially dogs, and after volunteering at the Camarillo Animal Shelter, he adopted his loyal pug, Gus. In lieu of flowers, donations may be made to the Camarillo Animal Shelter. We believe this would have made him very happy. Hayden is survived by his parents, Calvin Miller and Laura Miller, his brother, Calvin Miller, his grandfather, Calvin Miller Jr., his grandmother, Sharon Mead Rassi, his aunt, Lisa Johnston, Johnny, his cousins, Alexandra Smith, Rebecca Smith Scott, Cameron, Nick Bounce, and Kelly Mead. He was preceded in death by his beloved Papa, Charles Rassi. And I also extend my condolences to the family. I think, as a mother, the most terrifying thing that I could imagine is losing a child. And unfortunately, the parents are living that terror and that nightmare now. And I share my grief with you. I'm so sorry he's no longer here. Do know that through his relationships and the love that he had for humanity, he continues to live on here in the city and throughout the world. I thank him for his bravery, for promoting justice in every step of the way, and for even giving up his life for that. May God bless you, every single one of you, the families who is here, and I will continue to keep you in my prayers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We come to the time for general public comments for items not on the agenda. Madam Clerk?
Yes, currently at this time, I show that we have 9 speakers, and I'm just going to read a little bit about the general public comment rules. Per City Council Policy 1.05, each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. The City Council will receive general public comment for a maximum of 20 minutes, which typically allows for up to 7 speakers. Speakers who sign up during the 20-minute public comment period but are not heard within that time will be given an opportunity to speak following the completion of action on all other agenda items. The City Council may not take action on matters raised during general public comment, but may briefly respond, seek clarification, or refer matters to staff as permitted by Government Code Section 54954.3. Your time will be displayed with a video on the displays up here. And when your time is up, the microphone will be muted, and then we'll move on to the next speaker. So I'm going to call up the first person and indicate who the second, third people will be. So our first person is going to be Patty Braga, and then after Patty will be Joseph Dubinsky and Clea Talley. So Patty, if you want to come on up.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Tennyson, Camarillo City Council members. My name is Patty Braga. I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of Ventura County Leadership Academy. VCLA's mission is to connect people and issues to strengthen our county. We do that by bringing together a diverse network of leaders from the business, education, nonprofit, and public sectors. Over a 9-month program, we hear from subject matter experts on the complex issues impacting our community. We build relationships and understanding between cohorts and throughout our vast alumni network, many of them in this room, so that we can all work together across all industries in all areas of the county to make our community the best it can be. We are now in our 31st year, and we have over 890 alumni. I wanted to take a moment and share with you our 23rd annual Journey to Leadership Award honorees for 2026. This year's honorees include our Business Leader of the Year, Nick Deitch, Principal Architect at RRM Design Group. Our Educational Leader of the Year is Dr. Cynthia Herrera, Vice Chancellor for Institutional Effectiveness with the Ventura County Community College District. Our Not-for-Profit Leader of the Year is Robin Britt, Executive Director for Community Conscience. Our Public Sector Leader of the Year is Mark Stadler, Senior Program Administrator for the Crisis Intervention Training Program with the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. And our Alumna of the Year is Danielle Borgia, President and CEO of the Greater Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce. This is your formal invitation to join us at the luncheon on Thursday, April 30th, beginning at 11:30, hosted right here in Camarillo. You can learn more by visiting our website, or please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next person is Joseph.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Duzinski Jr. I'm a resident of Camarillo, and I spend my mornings outside of Cortez Circle tracking raid activity. I missed y'all last time. I was too busy training over 250 people in Santa Barbara to get involved with this effort because other people can't or won't. For statistics, in the 805 Tri-County area, 1,534 people at least have been abducted by ICE. 817 of those are from Ventura County, and 444 have been taken within Camarillo. That's over 50% of the Ventura County total. Imagine my surprise this week when I opened up the VC Star and saw an op-ed from Mayor Tennyson saying the same things that we've been saying for months, which is nothing new, actually. Ventura County has been experiencing harassment, doxing, instigation, brutality, rammed with cars, flashbang, tear gassed, and murder by ICE within our community. I guess it took a couple of people being gunned down in Minneapolis to actually start waking up to what's going on. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're seeing that brutality that this lawless administration has started to have, and I hope you'll do more as a city council to protect us. The only thing I didn't agree with is why people are having trouble trusting law enforcement with ICE. It's not just ICE's actions that are making it hard to trust, because law enforcement has remained neutral while ICE has continued its reign of terror throughout the county. Because law enforcement officers won't investigate the many claims that we have brought to city council and county boards within Ventura County. Because the sheriff spoke at a memorial for Charlie Kirk, who hated immigrants and the sheriff willingly collaborates with ICE and has spent months passing along their lives without investigation while downplaying their actions as just guys doing a job. Because when we report crimes by ICE to local law enforcement, they don't actually show up or do any investigation. But when ICE reports a crime, 3 units show up to question our volunteers outside of Cortez Circle. Because when I provide photographic evidence and precise details of lawbreaking happening with the county, Ventura County Sheriff's Department and the Camarillo Police Department will not respond. I am still waiting for a call back from Deputy Borden. As such, words and opinions without actions are meaningless. And as such, I want you to really reconsider the Immigrant Stakeholders Committee we've been trying to get established within Camarillo as part of the city council here. The same way Oxnard has, the same way Santa Paula has, the same way Moore Park is now getting going, and the same thing that Fillmore, after last night's city council meeting, is considering. If you don't want to be a part of this discussion and supporting the undocumented community, that's fine. We can't wait for you guys to actually do something or take action outside of food going to food share for everyone, not just the undocumented community. So if you don't want to be a part of this conversation, we're going to start an immigration stakeholders roundtable within Camarillo, and we'll work around you guys and we'll figure out how we can support this community, because y'all aren't doing it. Thank you.
Okay, our next person is Clea Talley. After Clea will be Spencer Ritchie, and after Spencer will be Bev Dransfeld.
Hello, my name's Clea Talley, and I'm here today to ask the City Council to vote to terminate the contract with Flock and cover any cameras currently deployed within the city until they can be removed. If the council does not want to discuss further on the issue today, I request an open public hearing be scheduled, similar to what was held in Santa Cruz on the January 13th, which would allow true public commentary and transparency on this taxpayer-funded and unapproved liability. Several Flock cameras are easily found online with publicly accessible live feeds with 30 days searchable footage. No login required. These are open IP addresses. These new cameras that have been installed in Camarillo are located next to our public schools and private schools with the playgrounds clearly visible in the camera feed. This is in violation of our privacy laws and exposes our children to the internet in terms of what they can be accessible. Flock cameras pose an unacceptable risk to our community privacy, safety, and civil liberties. Flock cameras and automated license plate readers are used by California police and in cooperation with ICE and federal agents to clearly conduct unconstitutional immigration enforcement activities across state lines in violation of California's privacy laws. They have been used by law enforcement officers to track people, vulnerable people with healthcare issues, with the idea of charging them with the crime, to track ex-romantic partners, and to stalk people for personal reasons. Recent audits of data have confirmed, as well as national reporting, that have shown the information is not just accessible by police departments nationwide, but Homeland Security and other agencies. We are quickly becoming a mass surveillance nation. Is this what we really want? Independent research has uncovered dozens of serious security vulnerabilities that have allowed access to live feeds, unencrypted data, no security whatsoever. And by the way, the recent current terms and conditions by Flock Safety have now said that the data in those camera systems belongs to them in perpetuity. So I would ask these cameras be covered as soon as possible and the contracts terminated, and that you hold a public hearing as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Spencer, and after Spencer is Bev Dransfeld and then Nicole Radin.
Hello, I'm Spencer Ritchie. I have quite a few things to say. So the first thing is that for some reason, on your sign up to public comment thing out in the front, there was an option to sign up to public comment on the food chairs check presentation. I noticed, and I signed up to do that, to comment on that. And I noticed you skipped public comment on that over, so I don't know why that was an option if that was your plan. And then the second thing, I am seconding the whole you need to get rid of the Flock Alper cameras because, again, why you're feeding us to ICE police departments across the whole country and, bad actors from every single stripe on a silver platter because, again, that's what these Flock Alper cameras do because literally anyone and everyone can look at their footage from the past 30 days. And also I've noticed you still make a huge point of being fiscally responsible. Renting a whopping 25 Alper cameras when Oxnard, a city that is multiple times their size, only has 19. That is not fiscally responsible on your part. And then going into what I actually submitted in my written public comment this afternoon, nobody was pointing a gun at your heads to rent a whopping 25 flock Alper cameras to cover a town that is a fraction of the size of the neighboring city with only 19 flock Alper cameras. Like that, you know, multiple people have told you that, you know, you can prove by looking it up online at, you know, reliable sources that, you know, flock Alper camera footage is accessible by ICE. And it's a huge, you know, notably that, and you're not at least commissioning studies to look at the possibility of the city switching from contracting with the openly collaborationist VCSO for law enforcement and instead going to its own in-house PD that does not collaborate with ICE, and, you know, not doing even the slightest steps that you can against ICE. That is tacit approval of ICE. That is tacitly agreeing with what ICE is doing. You are all a bunch of traitors who like ICE. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay, next we have Bev Dransfield, and after Bev is Nicole Radin, and after Nicole is Bob Garcia.
Good evening again, council members. I think it's important to express gratitude where gratitude is due. So Mayor Tennyson, I do want to thank you for your comments in the op-ed. It's an important stance, and it's important for people to hear that from you as well. I also want to express gratitude for the funding that did go to Food Share. And with that being said, I do find it interesting that, you know, the immigration standpoint is brought up in these statements up here. Publicly, I don't feel, and I can be corrected on this, that it's available, you know, that's not in the press release sort of thing. So the reason why this was pushed forward was for advocacy from 805 and DocuFund and many other volunteers that are supporting the immigrant community. And I bring that up because, you know, it's a significant investment in our community, and it could have been an even more significant investment. And Mayor Tennyson, Councilmember Tremblay, I appreciate you taking the time after one of the meetings to explain to me that with VCCF, it was because of policy that it was considered a pass-through. I think that is something that could have also been explained to understand that, and that's also something that could have been changed prior to if that was such a concern. So even the 50 grand that was originally proposed could have gone even further than the 70 grand to make it $100,000. And as we know, every dollar that is spent is $5, you know. So again, just when we're talking about fiscal responsibility, that is where the disappointment is held. And again, we're not asking for $1 million. All we're asking for is an immigration stakeholders meeting. This goes back to some of the goals and objectives that were presented earlier today. When it looks at trust, which Vice Mayor Dr. Martinez-Bravo brought up, that has eroded. And it's happened on every single level of local government, of every layer of government, from local to national. So building that trust, if we're looking at forums, this is an opportunity. Again, this discussion of 3 minutes at a time every couple of weeks. I do want to touch on the public comment portion now that it's 20 minutes. I'm not sure if that's previous policy. That wasn't before. I'm seeing a nod from Mayor Tennyson. Again, being very forthcoming about that, because right now it seems like it's a retaliation of the number of public comments that are coming. I appreciated that former Mayor Kildee allowed everyone to speak, and I understand if it goes towards afterwards, but I know with Oxnard City Council, often what they do is move to extend that time. So I hope that the council also does that in practice if that policy change. Thank you.
Okay, now we have Nicole Radin, and after Nicole Radin is Bob Garcia and Blanca O.
Madam Clerk, I'd just like to recognize that Councilmember Tremblay is now present.
If I may, for the record, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I sit on the Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency Board of Directors. We had a lengthy quasi-adjudicatory hearing this afternoon that concluded at 4:47 p.m. So I apologize for being late, but that's why I'm late. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Tennyson and members of the council. My name is Nicole Radin, and I am a Camarillo resident. I've come again today to voice my continued concern about the immigration enforcement that's happening in our community and to ask that City Council take decisive and immediate action. I want to use my voice to remind our leaders that the issue of immigration is still critically important and very urgent. The people of our city are being deeply affected by this issue. Earlier this week, a friend reached out to me. She and her family live overseas and run a social enterprise business in a developing nation. She reached out to me because she was unsure whether or not it was safe for her family to come home because she has darker skin than I do. She said, from this side of the world, it looks pretty intense. Honestly, I'm a bit scared to come home. Scared to come home here to Camarillo. It was difficult to answer her. I tried to answer candidly. Yes, the political climate and immigration enforcement is intense and scary. It's not just happening in big cities, but it's happening here as well. The numbers that I have are actually outdated just because I pulled them the other day. It's now over 700 people have been taken from Ventura County, and over 440 of those were taken in Camarillo. But I was also able to share with my friend that there are pockets of hopefulness in community members that are taking action, working to protect our neighbors, people stepping up in our city to care for one another. People from my church recently banded together were able to help provide diapers for a local family where both parents were taken and 3 toddlers were left behind. While I was able to share about community members taking action, I did not have much to point to from the leadership of our city. Nothing to point to her that is from the officials in charge that say, we as your city council want you to feel safe. Here's what we have to say about what's going on, or here's what we're going to do. I do appreciate very much that there's a web page with immigration resources on the City of Camarillo's website, but it's critically out of date. And it is very insufficient regarding the gravity and the urgency of the ongoing crisis. I am going to keep on working to make sure that people feel safe at home here in the small ways that I know how and in my small sphere of influence. And I hope that our council will join me and my friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, on the list I have Bob Garcia, Blanca O, and Sidharth is the last one I have signed up.
So 3 more.
Correct.
We will complete those 3 before we go into the regular agenda.
Unfortunately, I'm here to talk about people who've been lost in military service. I wasn't aware of what was happening tonight, but that's my topic. You all know that. I've been here before about this. I believe I came here in October of 2023 and made some requests, and in over 2.5 years, I've just now been able to get 4 more names that I found: Vietnam casualties of war, Camarillo residents that were killed. Those names should be added, I believe, in February to the plaques. So that will make the total of 40 names of Camarillo residents that died in the service of our country. One of the holdup is every time I try and do something like this, they say, well, it has to go through the American Legion. I brought this stuff, this is where I get my information that I've gathered. It doesn't have anything to do with the American Legion. I'm doing it on my own. And that's why I'm asking you guys, and I've asked this before, that you establish a Citizens Advisory Committee, volunteer for Veterans Affairs, and let, under your guidance, come up with proposals that affect veterans. And I think that will make things a lot easier, because there's a big delay when I say, oh, we have to wait for the American Legion. Well, they don't know. The information's here, not over there. So that's my main proposal, is that you establish a Veterans Advisory Committee, all made up of volunteers. They don't have to be veterans, but that would be helpful. Another issue, and I've made several proposals, like changing the name of Constitution Park to Veterans Memorial Park. I went to one committee meeting and two of the council members says they weren't in favor of that. Well, there's 5 of you. Is that how it works? 2 guys get to make the decision? I don't know. I don't know what the policy and procedure is on that. I've made some other proposals about letting veterans buy those memorial bricks like they're doing at the Pleasant Valley Historical Society and put them up around the memorial out here. That's a no-cost thing for the city as far as I can tell. And the last thing I'm asking from you guys is I'm also dealing with Assemblyman Bennett and Irwin's office, trying to get one of those freeway signs like we have for Deputy Kuchenko here at Lewis Road for Camarillo's only unaccounted for missing in action service member, Victor Corona, who's been missing in action since July of 23rd of 1952, Camarillo resident. And I'm running really into the same kind of roadblocks dealing with the state that I'm getting here. So my request is that you guys support that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Blanca?
As an Oxnard native, I just want to point out that we have a beautiful memorial in Plaza Park. So I think it could be done here as well. Let's stop lying to ourselves. This is not about immigration enforcement. If it were, the math would make sense. Minnesota has an estimated 95,000 undocumented residents, while Texas has over 2 million and Florida has 1.6 million, yet enforcement resources are being funneled into blue states, states that did not vote for Donald Trump. That is not coincidence, that is strategy. We are told this is about the worst of the worst, but the facts say otherwise. Roughly 93% of those detained have no violent criminal record. If cartel leaders were really being arrested, the footage would be everywhere. Instead, what we see are ordinary people taken, families shattered, and communities terrorized. So let's say the quiet part out loud. This is not public safety. This is political targeting. And when anyone dares to point that out, they're gaslit. We're told, no, this is just enforcing the law. Is it? Then why are state police deployments paired with political pressure, like demands involving voter rolls? That has nothing to do with immigration and everything to do with power. We're also told to take Donald Trump seriously when he tells us who he is. But when someone openly sells and wears Trump 2028 merchandise, when democratic norms are mocked instead of defended, at what point do we believe him? Democracy doesn't disappear overnight. It is dismantled piece by piece while people in positions of authority look away. And real people are paying for that silence. Renee Nicole Good, Alex Preddy, and a small child, Liam Canejo Ramos. These are not talking points. These are lives forever altered or lost under policies that treat human beings as collateral damage. Then we see federal agencies themselves promoting language like one homeland, one people, one heritage. We are not stupid. We know exactly what that language comes from. It is not neutral, it is not accidental, and it is a rhetoric of exclusion and white supremacy repackaged and stamped with a government seal. This is not about undocumented people. It is about consolidating power, silencing opposition, and testing how far institutions will bend before they break. So the question before this council is very simple. Will you continue to play neutral while democracy is eroded in real time? Or will you name what is happening and stand on the side of civil rights, due process, and humanity? It is a pretty good time to start believing your eyes and ears.
Thank you.
Okay, our last speaker. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Council, fellow citizens, my name, as you seem to have so much trouble with it, is Siddharth Mehrotra, and by now you know me. And by now you know, I agree. I agree with the family of Hayden Miller No parent should be forced to bury their child. I agree with with Joseph. This matter has gone on too long and our response is too late. I agree with Ms. Talley and Ms. Ritchie. We have not done due diligence. I agree with Bev Drangsfeld and Blanca in all they have said. I agree with all this, and I hope you do too. Indeed, I have come to believe we all must. I have come to believe in these things more than, and perhaps I've ever believed in anything in my adult life. For the past 25 years, we have suffered this oppression, this mad search, this tearing of ourselves apart in search of a non-existent threat, of a totally fictitious danger to people who stand in no danger at all. The time has come instead to heal ourselves, to stop what is destroying ourselves, and do what will knit us back together. And what will knit us back together has been named already: to free the prisoners, disarm those who captured them, and streamline the immigration process so people don't have to wait and be punished for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will move on to council staff and intergovernmental reports. Our first report is a library update, and I know Mandy's here. Mandy, the microphone is yours.
Good evening, Mayor David Tennyson and library trustees. I am excited to announce a new modern feature in the library, which is a 12-bay laptop dispenser located on the library's second floor. This dispenser allows patrons to check out a laptop to use anywhere inside a library building and provides greater flexibility for library patrons. This dispenser is self-service, and patrons can check out a laptop for up to 3 hours a day. When the patrons complete their computer session, the laptop is returned to the dispenser, where it is charged and prepared for the next patron to use. This service is available for all patrons 18 years and older and who have a valid Camarillo Public Library card. In relation to technology, the library will redesign the existing tech lab in the second floor into a new meeting space that we are branding as the Workspace. The Workspace allows small groups of up to 15 people to book a private meeting space for their business and educational needs. The space will include technology upgrades such as a smart board for virtual meetings and offer modular furniture for room flexibility. We hope to launch the Workspace later this spring and foresee this being a popular service with the public. Our library staff will market this accordingly once we have all the equipment and furniture in place. The laptop dispenser and the workspace support the City of Camarillo's strategic plan by ensuring the city's technology and facilities promote efficient operations and public engagement. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to address any questions.
Any questions for Mandy? Go ahead, Mr. Kildee.
Yeah, Mandy, I want to thank you for being here tonight. Yep. And I think that kiosk is really neat. And I hearken back, I think it was about 2008, 2009, the library was actually constructed, and somewhere in that neighborhood. And boy, it really looks good. And I think it's really great that you're continuing updating it to reflect what, the consumer and or, the residents and the people's needs are. So if you could pass that along to your staff too. I really always enjoy going there. So well used.
Anybody else? Thank you, Mandy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mandy.
Next, I would like to invite Oxnard College Dr. Roberto Gonzalez, President, to the microphone, sir.
Good evening, buenas noches. Mayor Tennyson, council members, thank you for having us. I'm Roberto Gonzalez, president of Oxnard College. Like many of you and many of the families we serve in Camarillo, I'm a proud son of immigrant parents who came to this country from Michoacan, Mexico, to provide for their families a better life. I'm the first in my family to go to college. I started my college career at my local community college, and the guidance and support that I received there really helped to set the stage and laid the foundation for my future academic and career success. My purpose is to help youth and adults in our community and help them discover their calling just as I was helped to find mine. My wife and I are proud to have chosen Camarillo as our home, where we are excited to be raising our 2 young daughters in the city. From the moment we arrived, we found the city to be very family friendly, very just people-oriented, and so we're so happy to be here. This evening, I'm joined by Mara Malch, Vice President of Business and Admin Services, and James Schulke, our Director of Outreach and Marketing. This year, Oxnard College is celebrating our 50th anniversary. As you may know, the college was established thanks to families of Oxnard and Ventura County advocating for equitable access to higher education. And today, some 50 years later, we are proud to have served generations of Camarillo families. From fire departments to city halls, schools and businesses to hospitals and clinics, laboratories and nonprofits. Oxnard College graduates are on the front line serving our communities every day. We honor our shared past, and tonight we hope to give you a sense of where Oxnard College stands today and where we're heading as we forge the next half century of service. In terms of the PowerPoint, Oxnard College is an institution of excellence with recent statewide and national recognition for the work, our work serving students. Oxnard College was recently ranked 9th in the nation among 2-year Hispanic serving institutions by the Washington Monthly College Rankings, which prioritizes advancing social mobility, equity, and student opportunity. Oxnard College was also ranked amongst the top 10 community colleges in California for return on investment by the College Futures Foundation. And both in 2023 and 2025, the prestigious Aspen Institute named us among the nation's top 150 community colleges out of 1,200. Recently, we received a recognition by the Carnegie Foundation for our community engagement work. Only 277 institutions nationwide received this designation, honoring colleges and universities that demonstrate a commitment to working alongside their communities. These distinctions underscore Oxnard College's commitment to providing affordable, high-quality education that leads directly to economic mobility. We are proud to offer high-quality academic programs. This fall, we launched our first bachelor's degree program in dental hygiene. We also assist students to transfer to 4-year universities by offering 36 transfer programs. Our top 5 transfer degrees are business administration, biology, psychology, anthropology, and elementary teacher education. Oxnard College also offers about 20 career education programs. The top 5 programs are business management, early childhood studies, dental hygiene, computer networking, information technology, and culinary arts. And next, I'd like to introduce our Vice President of Business and Admin Services, Mara Malch, to come present.
Good evening. As a resident number person on campus, I got assigned all the number slides, so bear with me. But we wanted to give you an overview of our demographics. In the 2024-25 academic year, we saw a reasonable growth of about 9.5%, serving just over 12,000 students on campus. Our enrollment is a little bit heavier on the female side over the males, which is a trend in higher education overall. When we look at our ethnicity, our students are predominantly Hispanic, with about 72% being Hispanic, followed by the next largest group of about 16% white and 6% Asians, and then the remainder being a mix of various ethnicities. So we have a very multicultural campus with a broad representation of the communities that we serve. Additionally, if you look at the age breakdown of our students, our largest group is that traditional college-bound age, but we do have a strong representation of the 17 or younger with our dual enrollment students, and then also a strong representation of adult learners from our CTE programs as well as our PACE and our ESL programs, which we'll discuss a little bit later. Again, we have seen a nice growth in our dual enrollment programs at about 6.5%. As a proud Camarillo graduate, Camarillo High graduate, we service Camarillo High School as well as Rancho Campana and Rio Mesa that service your students here in the city of Camarillo, as well as a number of other high schools within our service area. Additionally, we have some targeted programs for non-traditional students and adult learners. Our PACE program, which is our program for accelerated college education, is focused on working adults to assist them in getting degrees for transfer as well as professional certificates to advance their employment opportunities and improve their income status. And then additionally, we offer ESL programs for English learners, and we've seen additional growth in those programs as well. So with our PACE program growing 9% over the past year and our ESL growing 35% over the prior year. So when we look at those targeted programs, of that 9.5% overall growth, those programs contribute about 6% of our overall growth. And so it's important to know that we have diverse programs on campus and that we tailor our services and our programs to meet the needs of the community in which we serve. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to President Gonzalez. Oh, I forgot this one. I apologize. We've also had an increase in the completion rate. So whether it's our associate degrees for transfer, or professional certificates, we've seen a modest growth of almost 2% in that area as well from the prior year.
Oxnard College also offers excellent student services, including specialized support for specific student populations, including our Veterans Resource Center, which supports our veteran students. In terms of financial aid, we distributed about $32 million in aid last year to help students pay for their education. We have many external partners, including the United States Navy, Port of Hueneme, County of Ventura, and La Yuna. We partnered with the Navy and the port to create a logistics certificate to help meet industry demand. The Port of Hueneme recently awarded Oxnard College with scholarships funding to support our students in the logistics program. And then recently we partnered with La Yuna to offer their laborers training school on campus. The program starting later this year will train community members for jobs in construction. Oxnard College, the college with the heart, is proud of our 50 years of service to our community and our contributions to the workforce and economic vitality of Ventura County. Here's to 50 more years of service. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you. Any comments from council? I know Vice Mayor Martinez Bravo has her hand up without looking.
I do. Thank you. Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you for the great work that is happening at Oxnard College. When I was elected, shortly after I came on, Dr. Oscar Cobian and Dr. Luis Gonzalez invited me for a tour of Oxnard College and to begin that partnership. And I truly enjoyed it. But in addition to that, I think it's the fact that they thought about inviting a council member to the campus to provide and initiate that relationship. I thought was extremely meaningful. I know that they are two doctoral level individuals who are residents of the city of Camarillo. And I was pretty saddened to hear that they are no longer with Oxnard College. And so my question to you is, how are you prioritizing local talent, and what are you doing to retain excellent workers and leaders such as Mr. Oscar and Luis, both doctoral level Latinos, which are highly in demand?
No, thank you for the question. As I've been at the college for about a year and a half, one of the big things that I've spent time doing is really getting to know the culture of the institution and getting to know how we engage with our community. And so one of the big takeaways is that we're a small college, but we're the college with the heart. And so in everything that we do, we want to make sure that we're supporting our professionals, helping them grow and move forward in their career, and also looking for new talent and making sure we prioritize local talent. So right now we're going through the searches for interim positions, and then very shortly we'll go out for the permanent position. So right now, although it doesn't look like it, I'm 3 people. So I am the Vice President of Student Services, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, and the President. So just been working with everybody on the team at the college to help kind of keep the boat afloat until we get some temporary people to help out. Hopefully some local talent, and then also as we recruit for the permanent, hopefully some local talent to your point. So
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, I think just the fact that they are Camarillo residents and were able to bring that perspective was is extremely meaningful to me. But I know this is, I sit on the site authority board of CSUCI as well. I know things take time, but yeah, definitely continue to prioritize local and important talent here.
absolutely. Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Kildee?
Yeah, I want to thank you for being here. I'm actually a graduate of community college back in the day.
Awesome.
But it's great college that you have over there. My current dental hygienist is a proud graduate of your program. She does a great job. And I know you have a whole bunch of other really good programs over there. So want to go over there sometime and take another tour. I haven't done it in a while, but I'd like to do that. And we're here to help. And wish you continued success. 50 years, it's amazing. I can remember the first year. So yeah, it's really great. Congratulations. I know you're going to have 50, probably a whole lot more really good years too. So keep up your good work, and I wish you nothing but future success. And thanks for coming here. It makes a difference. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Councilmember Santangelo, anything?
Get this figured out. Hi, thank you so much for being here. It's really, it's appreciated that you've taken time out of your evening to show us a little bit more about your school and all that you do. So thank you for all that you do for the community.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Tremblay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I also think that it's significant, and it speaks very well of Oxnard College that you now have a bachelor's program in dental hygiene. I know that Moore Park has been moving in that direction, or it already is in that direction with other subject matter areas. I'm not sure about Ventura College yet, but I think that speaks very well of our community college district and of Oxnard College in particular. So I congratulate you on that. And if I left any other academic areas out, I'm sorry. I just saw that one on the slide. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Gonzalez, thank you for you and having some of your staff present this evening. I would sing you happy birthday, but I don't have a singing quality voice. My wife has outlawed singing except at church on Sunday morning. So there's people that drown me out, but happy birthday. Congratulations to Oxnard College and all of your alumni that have passed through those doors, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we shall go to council comments. Who would like to go first? Mr. Kildee.
Okay, meetings attended. January 15th, VRSD. Today, I attended the investment committee with Martita. And January 24th, Saturday, I did attend. I got there a little bit late, but I did attend the Steve Bennett had well, lack of a better term, call it an open house in Camarillo. I always look forward to going to those and listening to what's going on up in, not only locally, but obviously up in Sacramento too. He does a great job. He's a very eloquent speaker. And with that, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, sir. Who'd like to go next? I'll let you correct the record, Councilmember Santangelo.
Okay, I'll go next. Okay, on January 15th, I attended a CPA board meeting. Also on January 15th, we had the CPA Executive Committee meeting. On January 21st, I attended LAFCO. On January 28th, that was earlier today, I attended the Investment Committee, and then I attended the CPA Finance Committee. And that's it for meetings attendance. I did want to explain, I handed out to all of you a little 2-page black and white. And these are talking points for the Board of Directors, but I figured you could all use them. CPA instigated an interim rate change because the PCIA fee for Southern California Edison went up. So CPA lowered rates so that we could keep ourselves competitive. Let's see, if the board had not taken action, the new PCIA fees would have increased monthly electricity bills by an average of 9 to 13% for most residential customers. Rates for communities that started in CPA service in 2025 were also lowered. CPA rates remain competitive with SCE, and CPA's lean power option remains less expensive than SCE's base rate. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Hopefully this helps explain things a little bit. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Can I ask something? Susan, I owe you an apology. I had back-to-back meetings this morning with
It's
both
okay.
of you, and I apologize. Actually, investment committee meeting with Susan. You're starting to look a lot
Was that
alike.
memorable,
But
right?
anyway,
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Vice Mayor, you're up.
Thank you. And Councilmember Kildee, I think you just missed me too much in the investment meeting, but we did have a following meeting after that.
Thank you. I'll get it right.
Yeah. January 15th, I attended the Economic Development Collaborative Annual Board Meeting. City staff attended, and there was a wonderful panel on the film industry to help support the economic development throughout the county, actually. So it was a very, very interesting panel. January 26th meeting, or January, excuse me, January 26th, we had a meeting with Adolfo Camarillo High School staff and also with city staff to discuss some traffic concerns. So that's going to be some ongoing efforts there. And then in terms of the comment that was made about our veterans, I am all for supporting or looking into other ways to honor our veterans. I know we do have also a beautiful memorial here in the city at Constitution Park, but I'm definitely open to other possibilities. So I'm happy to speak with a gentleman who was here. I think he may have left, or to, just discuss that. Additionally, I do want to say, I do have some comments, and Rachel, City Attorney, please stop me if this is in any way going out, that would be possibly violating the Brown Act. That's something that we're always very careful with. Look, I wanted to share on December 4th of 2025 of last year, I accompanied a farm worker to the ICE office in Camarillo. The day before, I had accompanied her as well, and she was told that everything was fine and that all she had to do was go to the Camarillo office and have her monitor removed. Well, as it turned out, that's not what happened. When I showed up to the office, they detained her and would not even give me that information. I managed to get that information from them. In addition, her vehicle was there and it was going to be towed. So I had to request authorization by giving my ID to get her car keys so that we could move it. Immediately, I contacted UFW, who came and helped me. I was extremely shaken up by the entire experience. You can just imagine what it's like for the people who are living it. And I know that we see this and many more horrors that are happening throughout our country. But when you're there, whether you're recording or living it, it's very, very different. And I was just extremely shaken up by the entire situation. On that same day, I know UndocuFund was there on the side. They had no idea what was going on. because we serve very different functions. And so, at least in that moment. So I don't do, through my organizations, I don't do rapid response. I don't follow ICE. What we do is we provide direct service to farm workers in need. And that is not to criticize one level of work versus another. But the reason I am saying this is because all of us have a role to play. And it doesn't mean that if you're not doing one thing, that it's not as important as somebody who's doing something else. I have farm workers who are calling me from detention. I have sat there and literally prayed with farm workers who are calling me as they weep. I have sat there from farm workers who call me and guide them through meditation because they're literally having a panic attack on the other end. There are organizations who are working on family preparation plans, and none of this is something that we provide publicly, but it is work that is happening behind the scenes. And sometimes the work that is happening behind the scenes is obviously just as important. And I understand the frustration. I understand the anger. I have photos of my passports on my phones. I have made plans to make copies and leave one with City Hall and another with the chief of police, because the concern is, because of the work that I do and because of my color of my skin, I am a target. And as the only woman of color on this dais, yes, I do believe I and my family and many people of color in this country know what that terror is like. And as we move forward, I think we're experiencing something that we never have in this country before, at least in the most recent years. We don't need to look at Nazi Germany because the Nazis borrowed the playbook from the United States in terms of the mistreatment of slaves, people that were brought here against their will. We have indigenous people who are being taken during these times, indigenous people of this land who are being detained. So it is extremely, extremely troubling. As I mentioned, I do believe that every single one of us has a role to play, and I also think it's important to provide grace. If there are people who voted for this but are now realizing, maybe this isn't the right thing, let's provide some grace, because at the end of the day, we do need to move forward. We do need to have a country, and we are all here passionate because we do love this country. If you did not care, we would not be here. And so I think we are all doing the best that we can. At 3:00, we had our goals and objectives meeting. And one of the goals that I brought forth within public safety was to try to establish a strategic plan to increase public trust, because we know that trust has been under attack between law enforcement and the community because of these recent actions. So do know there is work happening. We're not perfect. I am happy to always meet with folks to see what you have in mind. And, I think I'd like to also thank Mayor Tennyson for your op-ed on the VC Star. The reality is that no matter what policy we bring forth, it always has to be done with humanity. And that is the part that I think is lacking currently with the current tactics that are being utilized under this administration. I did share a social media post, and I shared it after Mass on Sunday. And so I would like to share it with you as well in both English and Spanish. This is a moral crisis. We are living under a deadly federal administration. Human and civil rights are being stripped away. Violence is being used against U.S. citizens. I condemn it. Children are being gassed, used as bait, and traumatized. Indigenous people, U.S. veterans, and other citizens are being detained. People of color, including police officers, are being held at gunpoint. This is no longer political. This is about right and wrong. Psychological warfare is being waged against the American people. Truth is being distorted. The American people are being gaslit. Fear is being weaponized. But justice does not disappear when it is denied. I stand with the American people. I stand with those protecting our communities and defending the God-given dignity of every human life. Faith leaders, medical associations, U.S. veterans, NLPOA, National Latino Peace Officers Association, and peace officers, nonprofits, and all who refuse to stay silent. May Alex Preddy rest in peace. May justice rise. I pray for his family and loved ones. And on this Sunday, I offer my Holy Communion for the repose of his soul and for eternal life. Ahora voy a repetir este mensaje en español. Este es una crisis moral. Estamos viviendo bajo una administración federal letal. Se están arrebatando los derechos humanos y civiles. Se está usando la violencia contra los ciudadanos estadounidenses. Lo condeno. Niños están siendo gaseados, usando como carnada y traumatizados. Pueblos indígenas, veteranos de Estados Unidos y otros ciudadanos están siendo detenidos. Personas de color, incluyendo agentes de policía, están siendo detenidos a punto de pistola. Esto ya no es político. Se trata de lo que es correcto y de lo que no es correcto. Se está librando una guerra psicológica contra el pueblo. La verdad está siendo distorsionada. Al pueblo estadounidense se le está manipulando y confundiendo. El miedo se está utilizando como arma, pero la justicia no desaparece solo porque se le niegue. Estoy con el pueblo estadounidense. Estoy con quienes protegen nuestras comunidades y defienden la dignidad otorgada por Dios a cada vida humana, líderes religiosos, asociaciones médicas, veteranos de Estados Unidos, la NLPOA y los oficiales de paz, organizaciones sin fines de lucro y todos los que niegan a guardar silencio. Que Alex Preddy descanse en paz, que la justicia prevalezca. Rezo por su familia y sus seres queridos. Y este domingo ofrezco mi Santa Comunión por el descanso de su alma y por la vida eterna. That is all that I have. Thank you.
Mr. Tremblay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This will be pretty short. For meetings attended since January 12, I attended the California Association of Sanitation Agencies Conference between January 13 to 16, and today a lengthy Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency board meeting. At the CASA conference, and I have programs that I'll distribute to all the members of the council later, there were excellent presentations on federal deregulation and permitting reform, and in particular, on agency funding and project financing opportunities. We all know that we have an extremely significant public works project ahead of us in the next couple of years in terms of our water recovery facility. And so the presentation the lengthy presentation was opportune. The second thing is that the Camarillo Senior Resource Guide just came out. I think the cover page was signed by our mayor, but I want to thank publicly Kathy Gluckert and Bruce Margolis, who spent an untold number of hours in putting this together and together with the Camarillo Council on Aging. It's a very welcome resource guide, and I really appreciate their efforts. And that's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. On the 14th through the 16th, I too attended CASA, and I'll just say ditto to Mr. Tremblay's comments. You wouldn't necessarily think discussing sanitation agencies is that exciting, but it was very germane to what Camarillo's looking at over the next several years with our sanitation plant, with our water reclamation plant, our
Water resource facility.
yeah, water resource facility. On the 15th, I had a VCOG admin committee meeting. On January 23rd, the city selection committee, which is mayors from all 10 cities in the county, where we proudly and unanimously elected Mr. Tremblay to continue in his role as a city representative on Fox Canyon. So congratulations, Mr. Tremblay. And then on Saturday, I attended the community coffee with Assemblymember Bennett, and there were some good discussions. And with that, I am going to announce a 10-minute recess, and we will reconvene in exactly 10 minutes. the council meeting. And we will begin with the consent calendar, items D through P. Madam Clerk, any public comments on the consent calendar?
I do actually have somebody that signed up for consent calendar, but I believe they're out in the foyer, and it's Spencer Ritchie.
Can they hear us out there?
We can't see her on the screen, so.
All right, we will move on. Are there any questions from council on the consent calendar?
I'm happy to move consent.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Madam Clerk? Yes, I got to hit the right button.
I already put yes, but it's going through.
I'm happy to take Susan's and Kevin's vote.
Oh, here we go. I got it.
You got it? You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's stuck.
Thank you.
Well, it's not coming up.
Oh, okay. Are you voting yes or no? Yes. Okay. I'll vote for you. Okay, I'm leaving up the screen for the mayor to announce the vote.
That passes 5-0. Thank you. Now we will move on to item Q, a discussion item. And before we turn it over to Lizette, I just want to make a quick preparatory comment. This was presented to council last month, and there were several questions about it, so it came back to the Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness Committee. We're working with staff. We refined it and fine-tuned it a little bit. So with that, Lizette, please take over.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, and members of the public. I'm pleased to be here once again to introduce this item and also to introduce Colleen Murphy with LaSar Development Consultants. And she's going to walk us through the revised version of our homelessness strategic plan draft. And then also waiting in the wings, we have Senior Deputy Jason Havelka, who will be available to answer any questions the council may have following the presentation. And so now I'll welcome Colleen forward, and we'll begin the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen.
Good evening. Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you again for the opportunity to present a revised City of Camarillo homelessness draft strategic plan for your consideration tonight. We greatly appreciate your feedback on the plan back in early November, and tonight I'm pleased to share how we've integrated this feedback in alignment with the city's priorities. Before I provide a summary of the plan's revisions, I wanted to share that the plan's phase-based structure remains the same. Phase 1 continues to be focused on creating the right conditions for success. That includes the potential for pursuing applicable funding opportunities, reducing barriers to housing development, and expanding staff capacity to strengthen the city's response. This phase also emphasizes the opportunity for strengthening partnerships, working closely with the county, the continuum of care, and the housing authority to align efforts and avoid duplication. And finally, this phase recommends prioritizing transparency and public engagement. That includes the opportunity to create tools like dashboards, continuing community outreach, and providing regular updates to council so progress remains visible and measurable. With Phase 1's groundwork laid, Phase 2 seeks to focus on implementation, including delivering the housing and services needed to reduce homelessness. Phase 2 outlines suggested activities for the next 3 years and looks to develop additional permanent housing solutions, add new affordable and supportive units, and expand interim options such as motel-based shelter and other opportunities for residents living in vehicles. It also includes a suggested prevention strategy to help keep people housed through rental assistance, shared housing, and other local supports, along with flexible funds that can help remove smaller barriers to housing. And finally, It includes the proposition for workforce development, recognizing that long-term housing stability is tied to income and opportunity. This plan is also still grounded in a proposed measurable outcome, and this core outcome seeks to secure a 2/3 reduction in Camarillo residents experiencing homelessness by year 5 through sustained increases in housing placements for those experiencing homelessness and a strong prevention effort to better stabilize inflows. This proposed outcome is grounded in current baseline data and supported by our detailed modeling that demonstrates how maintaining steady rehousing rates while managing inflow increases through prevention can achieve the stated goal. With that grounding, I'd like to shift on how we revise the plan in line with Council and Public Safety Committee's helpful feedback. One can categorize the plan revisions in these 7 categories. Number 1, clarifying the aspirational nature of this plan. Number 2, sharing how this plan integrates with the general plan and housing element. Number 3, focusing funding strategies on external sources. Number 4, highlighting the importance of aligning potential organizational changes with the city's budget processes. Number 5, linking programming to funding availability and feasibility. Number 6, providing augmented language around trauma-informed care. And 7, clarifying the difference between goals 5.1 and 5.3 that focus on community education and community access to resources, respectively. So for number 1, a comprehensive note to readers section was added at the beginning of the plan to explicitly establish it as a guiding framework that provides direction versus mandates. This section clarifies that strategies represent informed recommendations rather than requirements, that timelines serve as logical guideposts rather than deadlines, and that the plan does not supersede existing city policy or council direction. It also adds that the city may adjust plan actions based on circumstances, reinforcing the flexible, adaptable nature of the plan's framework. So for number 2, we strengthen language to include explicit connections to the city's ongoing general plan update and adopted housing element. The opening sections now clearly state that the plan aligns with and builds upon existing planning documents, and that recommendations may be revisited and incorporated into future planning cycles only when consistent with broader city priorities and statutory requirements. Goal 2, which addresses barriers to affordable housing, has been revised with particular attention to land use and zoning recommendations. Timelines note that review will occur in alignment with housing element programs and that comprehensive zoning updates will be analyzed as part of the general plan update process, with implementation contingent on consistency with that comprehensive planning effort. So moving on to number 3, the plan's funding section shifts emphasis towards external funding opportunities, focusing on how Camarillo can maximize state funding, federal funding, and regional funding sources. The potential opportunities for local revenue sources that the city may consider if external funding proves insufficient is still available as an appendix. For number 4, recommendations regarding organizational structure and staffing have been revised to tie any potential changes to the city's established annual budget development process. New language emphasizes that the city will assess the need for additional positions, including their scope, timing, and funding sources through the comprehensive budget study that occurs as part of the normal fiscal planning. Additional context has been provided to explain the potential benefits of these proposed organizational changes. Moving on to number 5, recommendations for specific program implementation, particularly those that involved master leasing arrangements and permanent supportive housing development, have been revised to include explicit conditional language tied to funding availability. Action steps now consistently reference the need to secure grant funding before launching programs and include language directing feasibility assessments rather than immediate implementation. Additional considerations note notes have been incorporated to acknowledge program costs, coordination requirements, and the need for strategic implementation based on available resources. This ensures that the program recommendations are understood as opportunities to pursue when conditions are favorable rather than immediate mandates. Number 6, this section addresses the engagement challenges and was augmented so as to provide a more detailed trauma-informed perspective. The revised content acknowledges that engagement challenges are real and complex, and while explaining how behaviors that may appear as resistant often reflect trauma responses, safety concerns, or program design mismatches rather than unwillingness to accept help. The added content emphasizes that trust building, consistent engagement, and person-centered program design are proven to lead to better outcomes. And finally, for number 7, we refined goals 5.1 and 5.3 to ensure that the plan's language clarifies that 5.1 is focused on general educational opportunities to engage Camarillo residents on the causes of homelessness and housing crises and Camarillo's response to these crises, and that 5.3 is focused on enhanced ways that residents can find out what prevention and homeless services may be available and how to access them when needed. Next slide. For your consideration, I leave you with the recommendation here. And to close out, thank you to the council, city staff, the Project Hope team, county and regional partners, lived experience advisors, service providers, and residents who all contributed to this process that has led us here today. We appreciate everyone's feedback and inputs to this plan, and I thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Any questions from council?
No questions, just comments.
Okay. Well, we'll do that afterwards. Madam Clerk, any public speakers on this issue? On item Q, the draft Camarillo Homelessness Strategic Plan.
Yes, I do have 2 people who have signed up to speak on this item. I have Spencer Ritchie, and after Spencer is Jacob Anglin. So Spencer, if you want to come on up.
All right. Hello, this evening again. I'm Spencer Ritchie. So yeah, I would say that this draft of the homelessness strategic plan sounds, pretty good, pretty sound stuff. My question for you as, I guess, an addendum to it is actually 2 questions. So 3 questions. So one, as you might have heard, from among all the horrible news coming out of Minnesota, is that I think 4 homeless, unhoused, indigenous people were actually picked up by ICE and have been detained by ICE, despite, being indigenous American, I think more specifically Sioux. And so there's been a backlash about that. Does the city have any plans for, if ICE, targets any of our local unhoused homeless people? And then this leads this is related to my second concern about this. As you hopefully may have heard as well in general, both Trump and RFK Jr. have suggested that, institutions, or as, RFK Jr. likes to call them wellness farms, be brought back. And in fact, in Utah currently, there is a huge giant.
Spencer, I'm going to interrupt you. Please address the issues to the item on
This is
the
related.
agenda. This is our strategic homeless plan. Okay, next, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Jacob, you want to come forward?
Mayor Tennyson, council members, staff, I appreciate the work that you're doing on this. I want to thank you for that. I can see how thorough you do desire to be to make sure that this is holistic change that you're going after. And so I'm praying for you all in this aspect. And so a couple of things that I just want to recommend from that holistic picture. You mentioned it beautifully that there's a level of trauma that is prohibiting people, and that's not just sound counseling that gets that through. And so as you're looking for partnerships of who to engage with, I would encourage you to find people that can effectually pray for that level of freedom, for people of past trauma, things in their family that have happened. So there's emotional wholeness and ways of thinking so people can get broken free of maybe any cycles that they've had in their lives. So that's one component as you're looking for partnerships, is people that can effectually bring that. Secondly, there's two other facets when it comes to the land use and affordable housing. I don't know if you've already engaged with, but I would encourage you to reach out to the Housing Trust Fund, Ventura County, and the Housing Trust Fund, the Land Trust, Ventura County. They're already working with the state and getting grants and doing affordable housing in the region. So they could be a good resource, not only for feedback and strategy and planning, but Lord willing, there's maybe strategic partnerships to be developed in that. And lastly, my other encouragement and recommendation around that land use, because you're looking, how do we create funding through this, or the sustainability for even the people's income and staying in those types of places. I think there may be a potential for overlap. And on another time, I'd like to talk about the sustainability development plan. But what does it look like on certain land use where it's available to actually incorporate on the places where there's affordable housing for gardenscapes, regenerative agriculture, for that type of thing to not only be there, but then the people that are staying there to be trained and equipped on how to steward that level. Because it'll do a couple things. It'll, one, provide food for them right away. So you're talking about another level of expense that somebody in that situation is already having to work through. And then two, there's also a level of resource, you know, how for local markets. A lot of our agriculture here, which has been booming, is very much exported and global, but what about our local community? And so what does that look like to have a multifaceted approach in some of those affordable housing and land use places where people are being trained up in those areas, can implement that, have other income that comes from it, and then that could also be scaled for other types of trade that they're learning on site. So overall, we can talk about that another time with sustainability and the sustainable plan, but not just thinking how do we get as many houses as possible in one location, how do we also think holistically in that approach? So I just wanted to offer those encouragements and recommendations as you continue to go forward, and glad to follow up with any of you at another time. So God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's time for council discussion and comments. Mr. Tremblay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank staff, our consultant. I want to thank the Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness Committee for the extensive revisions to the prior draft plan, for their hard work on the plan. The revisions are excellent, and they are responsive to the requests that I previously made at some length at a prior council meeting. I really appreciate all of the work that staff and our consultant has done, the committee has done. I support adoption of the plan. I want to thank you all for your patience responding to my concerns. As I was leaving my prior meeting, I was coming late to this meeting. I think I saw an email from a representative of the Autism Society asking for a couple of changes in the plan. I hope I read that correctly. I'm not sure if I saw it. One was to correct a misspelling in at least one of the areas. And I apologize, I don't remember the exact. Did anybody else see that email?
Yes.
Staff, you see that email?
Yes.
It was to update, I don't know, it was to update the organization's name on pages 106 and 125 to the Autism Society, Ventura County.
And I think that would be really appropriate, so I certainly support that revision. And then secondly, to remove the term aspirational from the cover page, which I'm fine with. I think it's covered at some length in the forward, which I really appreciate has been done. And with that, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And again, I really appreciate all the hard work on this. I think it's a more, from my standpoint, far more improved and something we can be very proud of. And I'd be happy to make a motion when the time is right to approve it.
Okay, any other comments? No?
No, I mean,
Susan, did you have something?
Okay, I wanted to voice my appreciation for the work done on this plan originally and on all of the revisions, because I think you did a really good job. I actually went back and listened to the November meeting again because I wanted to be refreshed on how that discussion went. And I think you did a really good job of addressing some of the concerns. I really like the addition of the trauma-informed care. I'm a nurse. I work in psychiatric nursing and psychiatric medicine. And so we're addressing and realizing that addressing the trauma for some of these folks is so important. So I really appreciate that addition. I appreciate that we've clearly spelled out that this is aspirational. I'm glad you were okay with changing the title, if that's okay. Because I was wondering if we almost went too far to the other side. But I'm okay with that. But I agree with changing the name of it. Yeah. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
the two comments that I was going to make have already been touched upon. That was the name, updating the Autism Society of Ventura County, and then I was also in agreement with changing the aspirational piece, actually. And other than that, I really wanted to thank staff, our consultants, wonderful work. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're moving forward. Thank you to Project Hope and everybody who's doing the work on the ground, serving this very vulnerable population. Thank you, Mayor Tennyson, for collaborating with me and for even meeting after we were already on different committees. So with that being said, yeah, I'm happy to support it as is as well.
Mr. Kildee.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's said here. This is a top 10 issue nationwide. It might even be a top 5 issue. It breaks my heart to see anybody that's homeless here. We're spending a lot of money. We're spending a lot of resources to see if we can't help this problem. I hope in my lifetime that I'll see it eradicated. It probably won't. But I've seen it jump exponentially in my lifetime too, and that troubles me. What I would ask, I appreciate all the changes on that. I think I'm really proud of our city and potentially our council, if we adopt this, that we do have a plan now. We spent a lot of time and a lot of effort on this, but I would also ask that the council gets periodic updates on how it is going, what is working, and perhaps even more importantly, what is not working, and also what could be happening in the future. There's not any one reason why folks are homeless, and there's not one solution to it either. So we have to be open-minded on any changes that could be brought forward in the future too. But other than that, I support the hard work that the committee did. Committee worked extremely hard. Staff, Lisette and your staff and everyone else that had a hand in this, you worked extremely hard in this, but it's a very important document, and I will support it.
Mr. Tremblay, the floor is yours.
I'll move that the council adopt the Camarillo Homelessness Strategic Plan.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please prepare us for the vote.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Did it right.
And that passes 5-0. Thank you very much, staff and Colleen.
Thank you. Thank you.
And with that, I'm going to ask the city attorney if there's any report from our earlier closed session.
No, but after we adjourn the regular meeting, we will be returning back into closed session.
Correct. So as a reminder, we're adjourning tonight's meeting in memory of Hayden Miller, and we will reconvene back to our special meeting and continue our closed session.
Oh, that's sad.
So, is it Carolyn?
I think it's Carol.
I think it's Carolyn, yeah. So just heads up.
Okay, thank you.
That was a nice tribute to him.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but you were so eloquent.